I want to rank J. Cole's 5 studio albums in his discography.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
So we'll start with you, Colin, starting at number 5, building your way to number 1. So we have, just to remind the fans out there, the Sideline Story, Born Sinner, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, For Your Eyez Only, and KOD.
So how would you go by this, bro? This is a bit of a tough situation. I think he's freezing up, man. Yeah,
There we
okay,
go.
he's back in.
So from 1 to 5?
Yeah, 1 to 5.
5 to 1.
5 to 1. Okay, let's do
1.
5 to 1. 5 to 1 sounds good.
You got it. All right. So from 1 to 5? 5 to 1?
5
Yes.
to 1.
5 to 1. Number 5. I'm sorry. I love Sideline Story. I love Sideline Story. I think it's a great album, but I'm gonna have to put that at number 5. I think, but I will say that I don't know if it has his best singles, but I think it has a lot of his biggest singles and a lot of ones that have some of the most replay value even to this day.
Facts.
Number 4. This is hard. This is where it gets hard.
Oh man, yeah, this is hard, man. This is the crazy part about J. Cole, bro.
As much as we just said how much we love KOD, and it's not a miss, which I'm not calling this a miss at all. This is just my personal list. I'm gonna have to put KOD at number 4. After that, I'm gonna put Born Sinner, and number 2, For Your Eyez Only, and then number 1, 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Oh, okay, so you okay. What makes you put 2014 Forest Hill Drives at number 1, and like why do you think it resonates with you the most?
Well, for one, it just brings me back good memories and good times in my life, and I thought has a few of my favorite J. Cole songs on there. One of them is one that is on this list, 3 Adolescents. That song is one of my favorite J. Cole songs, especially the second verse that he has. For some reason that like really hits home with me, but I don't really relate to it that much. But I just think that verse in itself is like a scene in a movie. Like that's the way I look at it when I listen. Like I just picture the whole thing, and it's like it's so crazy. And even just like the other big songs he has on Forest Hills Drive, you know, Love Yours, incredible song. No Role Models, incredible. Like all these, he just had so many big songs.
So many.
He really had no misses. And even What Dreams, that song gets a lot of hate, just I guess because of the subject matter. But like, it's a real ass song, and it bops. And if you can make a song about losing your virginity seem cool,
Fuck it, run it, just run it, man. At
So,
this point,
so what would be your
just fucking
you
run
really
it,
did
man.
an accomplishment. And
No, for sure, and I do gotta agree with you that
Yeah.
it does take you back to a time where you're like,
what's your guys' list?
oh man, fuck. Okay, so who wants to start? You want to go first?
I can go first, sure.
Okay,
so
go
at
first.
number 5, I also have the Sideline Story. I think that it's not a bad record at all. It's still a strong record, but it's at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Number 4, I have Born Sinner, which is again a strong effort, but
Okay.
just it doesn't crack my top 3. And number 3, KOD. And number 2, For Your Eyez Only. And number 1, 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
So I want to ask you, what puts that at number 1 for you, man?
Okay.
It's to me his most consistent project. It's the project where he dives into, you know, the most diverse subject matter. You know, he covers everything about his life, and that was just the peak of him as a rapper for me. That's when he was really like, I'm the king of this shit, and no one can touch me.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
agree with you, and not only that, but that whole narrative of going
and one
platinum.
thing-
Yeah, go for it. Sorry. No, go
Oh
ahead.
no, I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say just like the one thing that really stuck out to me to that project. I just thought the whole concept was incredible. One, naming it after his old address, his old house, releasing it in the year 2014, and then he bought that house so he can home single mothers for free. And I just thought like that whole thing just really showed a different side of Cole. It was just like, because I remember even on a song on Born Sinner, he says how he didn't even buy a house yet. And then the first house that he does buy is his old house, and he doesn't even use it for himself. You know, it's like,
He's a humble dude.
extremely selfless guy.
He's a very humble dude, man, and like he always has the best interest of others, you know, in his hands, and you know he's always trying to do good for others. I'm gonna go with my list.
Yeah.
5,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go Sideline Story. Same thing as you guys. Reason being, I think it's just it's a great record, as Lucas said and as you said as well, Colin. But you know, it doesn't crack, you know, the top 3 for me. And you know, it was more of his raw stuff. You know, it's, you know, there's a bit
Yeah.
of gripes I have with it, but still, it's a fantastic record. I love it. 4, I'm going KOD, not because it's a bad record at all, like you said, Colin, previously, just because his top 3 is so strong for me. 3 was Born Sinner. I have to put it in the top 3 because I feel as if it's the record that really convinced me, you know, to become a J. Cole fan. Like, I listened to it and I'm like, shit, okay, like this is strong, man. Like this really cuts the cake for me. And not only that, but I saw a diversity of sounds in this project. I feel as if it's the crossroad for J. Cole's career. It's like it was able to tell him which direction he wanted to go into, and not only that, but it was a super solid effort. And there's some of my favorite J. Cole tracks on it. At number 2, I'm gonna be a bit different, and I'm putting Forest Hill Drives.
Really?
And I'm gonna put For Your Eyez Only at number 1, just because.
Why is that?
I feel as if it's his most personal album. Like, it's just it speaks to my taste of hip hop.
I think it's his most focused album, is what you could say.
Oh, absolutely. Like the amount of themes and the amount of content that he's bringing you for an Apple Music or a Spotify subscription is really worth my money, man. Not only that, but I listen to it and I feel as if it gives me the same cinematic effect as 2014 Forest Hill Drives does, just in a different way. I feel as if like I feel like Cole was in just from like what I'm taking out of it emotionally, I feel like as Cole was more in like this depressed sort of state, more of like where he was talking about, you know, the sort of injustices he doesn't fuck with, and you know, just him, you know, challenging his mind as a human being, you know, presenting all of these different ideologies,
Taking a big chance.
Oh, for sure. And not only that, but he was introducing such complex content matter. Like this guy was going on and, you know, introducing these topics, and I'm just kind of like, fuck, man, how do you even put this into a track, you know? And like, how do you make it sound good and coherent? It was just super impressive for me. He pulled it off flawlessly, and you know, at the end of the day, you could take any one of these albums and put them at number 1, and you know, I wouldn't slander you at all.
I could see, you know, any list, any top 5 J. Cole list would work for me, I think, because they're just all so good. And it's funny, like my first listen of For Your Eyez Only, I wasn't the biggest fan, honestly. I don't know if it was just like the setting I was in or like what it was, but I was just like listening to it and I'm like, I don't know if I like this that much, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't go back to it like immediately. And then once I went back to it and like really like diverged it, I'm like, wow, this is like incredible. How did I not like this the first time? You know, it's like, I think probably the reason was because it was so different. It was so different from what I was used to from him, and I just expected something different. And that also told me that you can't expect anything from any artist, let alone him.
Oh, for sure.